All right. Hi, everyone. This is BDevine. I hope that you are awesome wherever you are. Like, really awesome. Like, you're figuring things out and you're not playing games with yourself anymore. I see a lot of people in the new year begin really, really well, and then it seems to fade out, and others who come right in with the same old stuff. So, I'm going to do an explanation. This is a transmission today. This is for everyone. This is going to be whatever it's going to be. But this is about the fire in the mind, and this is breaking the spell of the false world, the mimic world. And I want to explain that a little bit. Soon there will be a larger course where you can really start to grab all of this information and understand it, or you can also be a part of my Patreon Flame tier. That is the only place that you will be able to have a ticket every month to see the live work that I do with you all. And we open up so many things when we're doing this. It's a lot more than I can give in these messages, but I do try to give you whatever I can. So, a fire in the mind, breaking the spell of the mimic world. Okay, so what we have right now is the flame mind, which is versing the conditioned mind. Okay, and I'll explain this how it works. First, let's make sure that we have our flame firewall all the way around us. We want this to be white and gold all the way around, 360 degrees into the center of the earth and up into the center of the universes if you would like to. It actually spans through all dimensions, all lifetimes. It is what it is. We are protecting ourselves from field interferences. Okay, your energy field, okay, it's very large. All right, so we want to make sure that there's nothing interfering in our field at all. That is what your firewall does. The outside of this, of course, we know that we add a mirror wall, and this reflects back to whatever is coming in, what it's trying to do to you. Okay, and it's not about back to sender and we're returning to sender and we're doing all of this. It happens automatically that this person will have their own projections in their face. Okay, it's because they're looking at a reflection of themselves, and it's on your outside level of your field. On the inside, we have this golden infused light that is also helping us to restore, to remember, to ignite. Okay, because that's what this is all about. There's no more spiritual dependency on messages and constant stuff. We need growth, we need strength, and we want a world of strong beings. It's how it always used to be, and it was taken away from us through fear. We're bringing this back. Now, on the inside of this, you want to imagine a blue sapphire starlight firewall. And this is very, very restorative and healing. And it can also bring you prophetic impulses. When you clear your mind of all the static on the outside, everyone's problems, this neighbor's doing that, these people are doing that, these people are doing this, blah, blah, blah. When you clear yourself of all of that, you become very prophetic. You're going to know what you need to do. Your intuition goes through the roof. So, there are two types of minds in operation right now on the earth. One is born from the organic fire of source, and one that it is programmed to simulate this. So what is the flame mind? A mind connected directly to your original flame scroll. Intuitive, telepathic, restorative, sovereign, strong, prophetic. Okay. What is the conditioned mind? A mimic overlay, okay, which is a false construct, a false system, a false energy, a mimic overlay that runs on false programming, external validation, consumerism, and fragmented thought loops. Common symptoms of this is confusion about your purpose, like constantly going around in circles, constant burnout cycles, repeating loops in life, relationships, jobs, emotions, fear of claiming your voice, fear of being direct, fear of having stronger boundaries, letting people in that you know you shouldn't, like dealing with someone who's passive aggressive all the time and sucking it up and then feeling really mad about it when you leave their presence. You know, there's so many different ways that you can see the mimic mind working. Suppression of your power through false humility, doubt or guilt. So, for example, people taking up all of your time or using all of your resources or asking you for help all of the time. It doesn't matter what situation this is in your life. And you do it because you feel like being in service is, you know, something that you're supposed to be doing. And something that, you know, you just want to, well, I'm just not going to make any waves. I'll just do it. And then you're going to be frustrated later. So this person controlled you or manipulated you to do something for them, knowing that you're going to do it because you feel like you're supposed to be doing or being in service. This is why people don't charge anything for their work or undercharge themselves or undervalue themselves constantly, and then constantly being annoyed about it as well. So all of these things can come into our life. And we know all of these situations as well. So some of the examples, this is some of the things that are going on in people's mind, and some of the things showing you on earth, right? So a mimic is not just a spirit. It's a system, as I've explained to you before, a broadcast, a copycat vibration that feeds off of flame bearers by posing as light. Okay? It's almost there, but it's not. This is why I keep saying you are the voice of the flame, because every single person's voice is completely different from the next. It's the one thing that we have that is absolutely, well, the one main thing, let's just say, that is absolutely unique and something that false energy, okay, cannot copy. And this is why you might find if someone tries to even copy your work, let's say you're an artist and someone tries to copy the exact same thing or sing just like you do or speak like you do, it never works, does it? Because there's this subtle change. You can hear it's not quite right. That's why it doesn't work, right? So global examples, these are psychological examples and spiritual examples as well. So I don't care what anyone believes in. This is not about hating on any particular thing. It's just bringing it up. You can make your own decision. So the first thing is religion. And it's religion controlled flame. So for example, the hijacking of Christ's true fire into fear-based worship, guilt, and control. So the false flame says, you're born broken, you're a sinner. The true flame says you were always encoded. You always have everything that you need. You just need to recognize it, accept it, awaken it, and then start working on all the patterns you've developed, you see? So whenever you go somewhere and you feel already that you're at the bottom of the pile, how would this be something that's going to be helpful to you, uplifting to you? Why would this be coming from something that's supposed to be extremely powerful and positive? Okay, so the next thing is AI scripted influence, social media algorithms, mimicking intuition, false prophets who read trends, not timelines, channelers echoing pre-written mimic scripts, recycling ascended master jargon with no personal fire. There's no real connection there. I'm sure I don't watch this sort of thing. I know of these sorts of things, but I don't watch them because as soon as I get I just turn right away from it. So I'm not going to watch it again. Right? I get anxiety, or I start, it just sort of misfires me, right? And I just can't. Like that fella, that Bashar, I can't watch that entity that's sitting there. It's just so freaking weird. Anyway, so therapeutic loops as well. Endless self-help cycles that never activate your sovereignty. Okay? So the idea of a counselor, therapist, psychologist, whatever, is to try to get you to understand yourself and to be able to sort of work on yourself through your memory and through your experiences and come up with your solutions. And it just felt never ending in that type of a cycle. And the idea is that we are supposed to, as guides or healers or beings of light, whatever we are, right? We're supposed to help someone so that they don't have to continually come back. So sometimes people will have an amazing healing and then they revert back to their old patterns, and of course it starts to come back into their life. They don't know how to deal with it and they're back again, right? So the correct way to do something is to try to fix it the first time by laying out a plan of action. Here's a strategy. This is a thing that you'll need to keep up with if you want this to change, right? So people have to get out of their, but why, all this ridiculous stuff, right? But people do it. I used to do it myself. I used to worry about everything. I had crippling anxiety from being a young girl right up until my late 20s. Like, agoraphobic, like making bad decisions just to try to have somebody there. Okay? I understand how that works. My idea is that if you really want something to change, you have to actually implement things for it to work for you. It can't be something where there's a magic wand placed on your head and suddenly you're healed. Although that can happen, I want to tell you that if you don't believe in transformation, if you don't believe things are shifting, if you keep speaking with, I've got this, you will continually stay in that echo and wonder why nothing's working. So, endless self-help cycles that never activate your sovereignty. In this work, in the flame work, we don't acknowledge something that we don't want. Why would we? Why would we give power to an evil entity? We just can collapse it. We can fix it. Believe me, I know all about entities in possession. I know all about implants. I know anything that anyone would come to me about for any type of situation. I've worked in many buildings. I've been guiding many seances over the years. I've helped people clear their homes, their workspace, and even worked in the corporate world to bring balance, body, mind, and spirit to the actual building and the employees themselves. I know what's out there, but I also know how we keep it alive. Okay? And that's the simple truth of it. Another loop is trauma is looped and monetized, but it's never transmuted into scroll power. It's just here, going around. Let's talk about how much of a victim we are all of the time. Let's keep on going. You know what I'm talking about. When I say it this way, okay, I'm giving you examples so you know what to look for. You can see this. All you have to do is look at the shorts or TikTok or whatever, and you'll start seeing, until you start moving yourself away from it, but you'll start seeing all the nonsense. It is unbelievable. And people fall for it, which is really sad. Right, so the next thing. Mimic mentors. Coaches who use hypnotic scripting, pyramid selling, or frequency mimicry. Be like me is the mantra of a mimic. True flame mentors activate you. What you're going to be doing is completely different to what I'm going to be doing and somebody else. But the core essence is sovereignty. Core essence is removal of everything that's holding you back from that which you want, including yourself. You've got to get your own self out the way. So true flame mentors are going to help you to activate. They're not going to do it all for you. They're not going to wave a magic wand. They're not going to have you lie on a table and come back week after week after week after week. It's going to be, here it is. Do you want this? You do? Okay, here we go. Oh my God, we're going to do it. We're going to get rid of it all. Let's go. Okay, you're not ready yet? No worries. Come back when you are. So we're not constantly forcing this on somebody. If they want it, they want it, they get it. If they don't want it, they're not ready, they'll come back later or they won't. So global events as spell casting, for example, false flags, fear-based broadcasts, celebrity narratives that implant powerlessness, comparing, and harvest energy, right? Example is mass media obsession with, I don't know, the apocalypse or whatever. It's an inverted prophecy. Real prophecy is reclamation, not collapse. Reclamation, not collapse. People say this is going to happen and that's going to happen and we're going to go and all the things and there's all going to be water in the United States and you've got to get up high. If that's in your energy, if that's what you want to see, if that's what goes over in your brain, if that's what you're searching for, who knows, you might see it. It's not going to be happening where I'm sitting, right? So things like this. So you need to recognize the voice of the flame, yours and where it is in others. And one of the practices that you can do is you can say, is this thought mine? Is this fear mine? Or have I picked it up from something I was talking about, something I was seeing, someone else's BS? Who benefits from this emotion that I just absorbed? Who benefits from this emotion I just absorbed? Well, it's certainly not you if you're absorbing someone's emotion, right? Is thought yours? Well, do you normally think negatively? Has all of a sudden something come up negatively in your brain? Is a fear all of a sudden? Is it yours? Is it your hormones? Right? Are you all of a sudden going through that anxiety stuff that can just come up when you get to a certain age, right? Can you balance this? Absolutely. Who benefits from what you've just absorbed? The other person, not you. You don't benefit ever from taking on someone else's stuff and lumping yourself with it. What for? There's no badges of honor for it, right? So flame discernment. You understand that you're not speaking in riddles. The fire that you have can't be simulated, can't be copied, can't be changed. You're reclaiming all language, all breath, all tone right now. You are understanding yourself in protection, as we do. We want to protect the field. Why would we leave our field door open? Why would we do that? Do we leave our front door open when we go to sleep at night? I mean, some of you might leave it unlocked or whatever because you're in a good spot. But as a practice, whenever we leave, right, we don't leave the house unlocked. We make sure we check things, make sure we check doors and windows before we go to sleep, right? So we have to do it for ourselves, our actual selves as well. So we let all, with the mirror wall invocation, we let all mimic frequencies be mirrored back to their original point of origin. No truth shall be inverted in our field. We're commanding. We're making a very clear statement. We are not accepting anything that's not right for us, that's negative for us. It hasn't come from the right place. And this includes people's projections and negativity and BS. No. And we are claiming that nothing is going to be inverted in our field. So if we set ourselves up correctly, then anything that we're thinking or feeling or doing is our own stuff. Okay? So we do a 3 breath cycle as we have before. In for 4, calling our guardian flame. Hold for 2, putting the mirror flame up, like we've already done it, but still. And breathing out, clearing the flame. Holding these intentions. And we visualize this flame around our head and our chest and our throat. Closely as well. We understand that we walk with the living scroll. We speak what only the flame can release. I remember. Simply saying I remember is going to bring even more memories to you as well. Right. So this is going to be a little bit of guided remembrance here for you as well. So you're returning to the last time you knew that you were here for more. When did that start for you? And then you sort of ask yourself, where was my flame taken? What age? What event? Where was my flame taken? What age? What event? It might be really young, or usually it's going to be when you're really, really young. I always knew it wasn't about being here for more or anything like that. And I know people say this all the time. Excuse me. People always say I knew I was different. But did you know that you were different from the moment that you had your first memory? I remember behaving maturely in events, as a baby even. Like, my dad said that I used, it's probably going to make me laugh here, or cry, one of the two, but my dad used to say that I used to go like this, and I would say, and I was a baby, and I'd say, apparently, and then I'd have this, I'd tell him whatever it was, right? Apparently. And it's still to this day, you will see me go like this, right? It's like they call them the mudra points or whatever, but it's just how I connect. And I was doing this when I was really little. But the last time when I knew that I was here for more, I was here as a baby doing that, but when was things taken from me? And that happened at a really young age. I would say like 4 years of age. And the split between my mum and my real dad happened. My brother and my real dad went one way, and my brother and me and my mum went another way. So it was taken then. It was stripped then. Now, yours is going to be different, right? But it'll be pretty clear to you. You might have a few things that come in your mind, like, oh, it could have been this or it could have been this. But you'll know. So we're going to call this back with our voice. Even a whisper reclaims the timeline. Okay, so we say, I now collapse all false permissions, all mimic permissions ever granted, knowingly or unknowingly. I revoke all false names given to me. I restore the true flame pattern of my scroll, and I awaken my encoded reality now. Okay. So the one thing that we have to understand is that we are far more advanced than we ever were led to believe. And that we can bring ourselves into what we've always been searching for really quickly as well. So for so many years, we're doing this work and spiritual stuff and readings and healing and designing courses and having people come for sessions, doing sessions, as I said, going locationally, which I didn't mind. I thought it was cool, you know. But one thing I always used to think was stupid was if you watch these ghost hunters or these, you know, places where they're sort of, you know, detecting all of this stuff, they never clear the space when they're done. They just leave that thing there for the next people to come. And something I got rid of was the spirit or the energy or the imprint immediately. Why would we want this hanging around? So you leave the place clear, right, when you leave, right? But some of that used to really, I'd just be shaking my head like, don't people understand that that's, why wouldn't you clear this away? Why would you want the next person to have fear, right? So there are so many things that come up in our journey where we get ourselves intertwined into something that's negative or something that should have been one way but it was another, or people taking something out of context or text, or nastiness from family members, kids that don't talk to you, problems in court or whatever it is that you have to go through, issues with inheritance. People tell me all about that all the time. Issues with money or lack of, or they're trying and they're doing, but they're still doing the same thing and hoping for a different result. I love that one. You know, going over and over and over something, hoping that somebody else will change, but you're not shifting anything, right? So it's never just fatigue or exhaustion that is keeping you more dormant, right? It is a multi-layered field, a manufactured loop of identity, desire, belief, and false power. And these loops are embedded in spiritual culture, media, leadership, and even these healing modalities, right? So it keeps you dormant from awakening to your full potential because constantly you're in these loops. You know, there are some people that I've known for a very, very, very long time in my life as well. And even with those, I love them dearly, and I'm always going to be there, right? But I do see the pattern of being afraid to take a step into another direction because I did it. I was afraid of taking a step into a new direction because everyone's familiarity with what I was always doing, right? Even though I've always given advice and given you confidence and helped you and helped with healing and all of this, right? I've always done that. I've always given you messages that were, you know, loving and kind and clear and supportive, right? But even for me to step into something that was not angelic guidance, or was not tarot readings, or was not oracles, or was not quantum healing hypnosis therapy, or was not the different Reiki methods that I have, or, you know, it just wasn't the normal thing that we've come to know as spirituality. For me to step into that, it took me ages to finally go, screw it, you know, this is what I'm doing. And my voice is doing this thing now with this coughing and everything because it's like having a release by telling you, right? So I was in a manufactured loop of keeping the spiritual seekers happy, of keeping people with those kind, loving messages, of course. Obviously, I never gave anything spooky or whatever. But it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, and hadn't been for a really, really, really long time. So by suppressing my own need to express myself in a different way, I was held back. I was in that loop, an identity loop. This is BDevine, this is Devine Miracles, this is the angelic guidance book that I've written, this is Domino Angels, the cards that I've got. This person's just going to endlessly give you stuff, don't worry about it, she'll just always be there, was how I felt. It's how I felt I was treated as well. Because I was doing that. I was always there, right? So, as I said to you, being in that loop myself, I understand how it is to break out. But once you do, you can't stop, right? Now, I had to also recognize the patterns that I was doing in my own past in order for myself to heal, to restore, to strengthen. I was like, well, what am I doing here? Like, what is going on? What is the right step? What's the next step? How do you, well, like anything else, you do it at one step at a time, but you do it. Nothing is given to you by looping. You just go around in circles. You have to step out of the circle and go forward with whatever that is for you. Now, dormancy is not just forgetting, it is a binding, keeping something familiar there. Every soul carries a core flame function to restore, rebuild, ignite, anchor, and architect, and more. And the mimics will target this function by mirroring your highest mission through distorted versions, light worker overlays that drain rather than activate. See? You get this false sense that you have to be in service. 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 You must give. You must give. You must give. And it's constantly there as a way of feeling also that you're not just taking anything. You're actually always giving as well. But you do get brainwashed into doing that because you fear ridicule if you're not giving, right? You fear, well, you're just taking everybody's money and you're just doing this and you're just doing that. So you're like, hang on a minute. No, I'm not. Look, how much I give. It doesn't matter what you give, right? You cannot continually give, otherwise you will never receive. And the truth of the matter is that we all deserve to receive for whatever it is that it's like an energy exchange, right? Otherwise it's unbalanced. Offering rapid false empowerment, channeling downloads or prophecy with no lineage, no flame. It's just, here's that. Well, what the hell's that then? Explain it, The other thing is creating synthetic crisis loops, money panic, endless healing, shame spirals. Like I was saying, you got to keep doing it or else everyone's going to hate you. Ascension ejection. Oh, we're going up. Oh, we're going up. We're going up. We're not going anywhere, dude. We're raising our own vibration, yes, but we're learning to anchor ourselves with what we have and make it better, right? So you're never meant to live in this state of reaction. You are coded for restoration and sovereign creation, right? Doing things that you love. I have decided that I do love making videos. It's something that I could say to myself, just do one time a week. That's it. And then do your monthly thing. That's it. But I feel instead a burning desire to make these type of messages that to me are more meaningful than, pick number 1, number 2, or number 3. Even though, like I said, I always try to give a more deeper exploratory reading, right? But it's unnecessary at the same time. So Again, examples of things that are out there. Inverted fields operating through people, places, platforms, institutions. So the Ascended Echo is seen in major spiritual YouTube channels as light language. Influencers speaking encoded mimic speech with no root, offering mass activations without any anchoring, protection, nothing. Draining collective energy while harvesting attention, right? These are not real channels. They are signal hijacks from the mimic or the false angelic. Okay, that is a whole other story that I want to talk about. The goddesses, the false angels, all of those things are a bigger thing. We don't have to worry about it because we're focused on our strengths, right? We're awakening our own intuition, our own prophecy. We've got our protection. So we don't have to be worried about being influenced by something that's false. But I can point out some of the signs of that as well. Also, the things that are a little bit false as an institution, like ancient sites, the Sphinx, the Delphi, Stonehenge, were flame faults. What you see today there in those places are mimic temples with tourist overlays. Energy is blocked or reversed unless reactivated by flame law. Governments and historical societies bury true flame blueprints and replace them with sterile narratives and blocked geometry as well. This is something that we're all going to be working on, I will tell you. Corporate mimics as well. Certain tech, wellness, and AI companies are not innovation houses. They are mimic replicators. Mindfulness apps that pull users into digital trance states. AI spirituality bots trained on distortion. VR temples or healing spaces that collapse real astral vision. True flame work restores the natural biosignal of the soul. So the mimic fields distort your time sense and your soul compass, right? It is attempting to sort of switch us and keep us in these dependency, freaking out, wanting more loops. Everyone is where there is, right? There's nothing against someone who gives you a lovely message through whatever means they give it to you from. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that people, the false energy, the mimic generated stuff, okay, the systems in place are designed on a larger scale for you to continue circling and never anchoring, continually looking outside of yourself and never owning, never waking up to all of your potentials, right? Systems have been designed this way for a very, very long time. The other thing is healers with no flame. So practitioners offering energy healing, channeling, spiritual mentorship. There's no scroll there. There's no sovereignty. There's no ritual route and no real guardians. Their field, it mimics your path. It collapses your trust and it hooks you into dependency. The flame reset removes these hooks by reinstating your mirror wall and your core origin flame. This is what we've been doing. Flame reset. You're never meant to be mirrored by the world. You are meant to mirror source. This is why the mirror flame is a primary mimic disruptor. So you breathe in, hold for 2, release for 6, and visualize the wall of flame mirrors rising around you. And you say, all that's not mine reflects, deflects, and returns. I am flame, I don't echo, I do not absorb, I emanate. And this sets the firewall. Like, we've already done this, but it sets it. It can't land where sovereignty has been reclaimed. It can't land. It tries to get you. So, for example, it will send someone will just be really irritated by you all of a sudden, and they're like, I'm going to tell that person. and they come at you that way, hoping that you will take something personally, lower your field, okay, and feel like you need to start explaining yourself. Well, when you're in your sovereignty, someone goes, oh, well, I'm gonna tell you what I think, even if you haven't asked for it, even if you never argued with me before, I'm threatened by you, so I'm going to tell you what I think. And that comes through, and you start saying, oh yeah, well, think what you want. I don't really care. People are like, huh? You mean you're not going to argue with me? You're not going to get all annoyed about this? No. So the internal energy is like, why am I wouldn't even give that my time, my space, nothing. It's just cut. That's the difference. In the past, you would really defend yourself, but there is no need. There's no need. You know what you're doing. You know where your heart lies. It doesn't matter if they don't see where your heart lies. It doesn't matter if they don't believe you. It doesn't matter if they are not on board. It doesn't matter if they're following along and getting it. It doesn't matter. And you can't make them do it either. I've had people buy things for like healing sessions or whatever for other people. Well, that's only going to work if that person's really ready for that. If not, they'll just won't get it, right? So all that's yours reflects, deflects. All that's not yours reflects, deflects, and returns to origin. We are the flame. We don't echo. We don't absorb. We emanate. And we set our firewalls, and we use our brains, and we don't get ourselves entangled in anything that's not worth it to us. So some people say to me, but I'm being called a liar. And, I can't stand it. Why am I being called a liar? Is it true? I say. And they're like, what? Come on, it's not true. And I'm like, is it true what they are saying? And they're like, no. Well, why do you care then? You only care if it's true, right? It's not true, is it? So let it go. And they're like, oh my God, I've been wasting all this time. Right? You know what I'm talking about. We've done all this before. We've been like, I just want someone to believe. I just want someone to hear me. You don't need that though. Source already knows what you're doing. Your flame already has all the answers. Like who you are really knows. This is what you're opening. But remember the tab system, right? If you start getting an overwhelm of communication and information and people put a stop to it, right? It's all up to each one of us. So you ask yourself, what am I still seeking? That's already been encoded in me. Are you seeking acceptance from others? No, you don't need it. Are you needing anyone to understand what you're talking about? No, you don't need to explain yourself. Do you need to follow or listen to something that's draining your energy and you're getting annoyed about it? You're like, oh my God, look at this. Right? You're giving your energy away if you do that. Where do I default to copying instead of creating? Right? Looking at that in your life. This person's doing this, maybe I need to do this. What truth am I pretending not to know to stay safe? Right? You know how to stay safe. What you're thinking about, you're bringing about. If you want to think about dark things and attack and people's BS nature or whatever they're doing to you, remember that will amplify in your life. Instead, fight back with your firewall. Put it up. Close the door. The boundary is strong. No. It's still a no for me. No. No. No, you can't come back after the 15th time trying to refriend me after you've deleted me. No. Right? It's that kind of thing. You wouldn't let someone who punched you right in the face, okay? So someone just comes up to you and they punch you straight in the face. Are you going to let them back in and say, you know what, right, I'm really sorry that I made you punch me in the face. How can we be friends? Can we fix this? Right? Because when someone tells you how they feel about you, it's usually in the first 10 minutes. Okay? Believe it. It's how they feel about you. There's nothing that you can do that can change it. It's just how it is. You can start watching, or learning about body behavior or whatever you want to do, but you don't really need to. Your instincts tell you straight away. Like, this person hates me, or this is this, or this is that. Okay? Unless you are always thinking that everybody's against you, which is another problem. Okay? Usually in a normal situation, you will figure it out within 10 minutes whether someone actually hates you or not. Listen, okay? We don't let it back in. We're not inviting unwanted guests into our home. We're not doing that into our field either. So, by flame, we collapse all mimic codes. We take our power back. Anything spoken, anything received, anything followed, anything carried. By scroll, we ignite what was hidden by loops and false light. We are the flame. We're not seeking anything outside of ourselves. We are accepting what we already have been built with. And the flame doesn't mimic, it remakes, it restores. This is like a wake-up signal for us. The mimic field is collapsing, okay? And you'll know that when you get like this final, like it's like everything starts happening all at once, or a surge starts happening, right? Or panic starts setting in around you or something, and you're like, oh, okay, a whole lot of stuff's falling apart right now. But we're not carrying it, right? We're just like, okay, next. This is all falling apart. We're not giving it any power. So, all right, let's see here. So, the remembrance of all of this comes into your life, like where you have to just take that time to remember who you are, what you're doing, whether you're resetting. Is this weakening you or strengthening you? If you're listening to someone's podcast, is it helping you, or is it getting you irritated? Is it twisting you inside? Is it worth it to you? And these are all the things. It's not about I must do more and then I will be given what I want or appreciated, because that comes from your childhood where you had to please people all of the time in order to not get in trouble, or merits were rewarded, or things that you were good at was rewarded. And if we think about it, at school, the smartest person or the captain of the school team, like we had in Australia, I played netball, if you know what netball is, if you're Australian, and I played it from a very young age, and I always was the best player on my team. Okay, that's a toot toot, but it was actually really true, because there was nobody on that team that would dive for that ball like Dennis Rodman and I do. Okay, so it was like I knew that I was always held back from those positions and things. I was shorter than some of the other players, right? But I'm like, really? This just happened time and time again. Like, I knew I was the best because I would just about turn purple for this team. I would turn myself inside out every single game, and I'd get these little rewards, or every now and then a little medal saying, you are the fairest and the best, and you're the most improved, or you're the most determined, or whatever stupid little trophy that you'd get. But I always knew, like, oh my God, there was no one that was putting in as much effort. And so when you think about things like that, when you think about things like that in your life where you know that you were held back, ask yourself what pattern that gave you, right? So for example, being really good at something and really great, for the teams that were around me, yeah, it's like what that has taught me is, in order for you to be noticed, in order for you to stand out from the crowd, you must need to do something absolutely extraordinary. Like you have to really hang in there, you see? So that taught me that even though I would give my best and give my all, I would be overlooked by someone every single time. So what that taught me was that I'm always going to have to try no matter what anyway. I'm going to have to try. And when we do the flame work, it is no longer about trying. It's no longer about having to be really great at what you do or the best or no one notices, or you've just got to keep going and you've just got to have to keep pushing harder and harder, and you know you're being stopped and you're being pushed underwater, but you've got to keep on treading water. Like that determination and that fight and that whole pressure to continue and do and continue and do left. Now I simply just don't care. Not about not about whether someone actually cares about me, you see? Whether someone knows who I am or someone is grateful. I don't care. To me, it's not about this constant fight. For me, it's about the flame. And the flame brings the message. The flame brings the truth. The flame brings protection. The flame gets rid of the unnecessary. Even my own running little loop that I had going in the background of I have to be noticed, like, who's not? Hey, I'm right here, you know. It's like when someone always just, you have your hands up ready to catch the ball and someone is there and they just always throw to somebody else. You're like, hello, are you kidding? That's how it has felt for so long. But now I've freed myself. This wasn't something anyone was doing to me. This wasn't something that others made me feel. I just want to be clear about that. It's not like everyone was saying, yeah, but we're going somewhere. It's not that. It was a sensation I had in myself. A sensation or a determination to almost prove myself until I'm just about dead, stressed out, like, you know, completely exhausted. Now I don't feel any of that. Nothing. I wake up, I'm pumped. I can't wait to get myself organized for the day. I used to hate to get to myself organized for the day. Now I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to what we're going to do on our property, what I'm going to create every day. I look forward to this because there is no competition other than the version of me that I used to be, and acknowledging my own flaws, as we all have to, without being then really super hard and critical on ourselves, just like, oh my God, yes, I was doing that shit and now I don't. Oh, what a relief. Do we really care what anyone thinks or feels or says? Is it true what they think or feel or say? Does it make any difference to our day? Yes, if we take it on. No, if we don't. Good. I'm freeing myself in just about a million ways here. I see others struggle. Oh, I just can't. I can't. And I know because I used to do all this sort of crap to myself. Well, it must be this. I must need to do this. I must need to do that. I must. I have to. I should. It's the right thing. No more. It is what it is. The messages are there for anybody who wants to actually change their life. The old stuff, still there, all through my YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Like you can go right back and see my little face from years ago. So we don't live behind someone else's light. We don't live under someone else's version of how awesome you are. I lived like that for far too long. You're not born to imitate things, recycle things, or beg to be seen, right? You came already encoded, not to learn the flame, but to reignite it. Not to join a movement, but to be an initiate of one. Not to chase timelines, but to rebuild this how you want it to be. You weren't off this year. You were torn between things that were pulling you into strength and pulling you away from it, right? I get it. Every BS situation came close to you, not because you're weak, but because you're about to stand up. Right? Every time you're about to do something fantastic, what happens? Not anymore. People you admired, they never ignited into anything. The circles that you served in drained you, never fueled you, never gave you your own empowerment. Teachers that you might have loved repeated scripts with no real vault, no real strength behind it. And you saw it, and your soul said, enough, enough. That's what happened to me. So the flame path is not really spiritual. It is cellular memory meeting cosmic law. Simple as that. It's a part of you that was on Earth before Atlantis fell, before the dome locked into place, before false timelines were programmed with mimicry. It's not about ascension. It's about remembrance and sovereign reconstruction. The path is raw. It can be destructive. It is very, very, like you're really looking at yourself like, oh my God. It's undeniable because it returns you to a living scroll. It repairs your face, your body, your life. It returns things to where they're supposed to be. It gives you options. You start seeing options for yourself that you never would have done, right? It's not a borrowed idea from somebody else. This is not something everybody else is doing, are they? Right? Because it's all about you, not about anybody else. So now you stop pretending. You stop apologizing for who you are to people who don't give a crap anyway. You stop waiting to be understood. You begin to create with fire. Walk with guardian protection. Speak only when it's you speaking and no longer someone else's words, someone else's whatever. It doesn't come from your own flame lineage. If it doesn't activate your body memory, if it doesn't rebuild your field after a collapse, you don't take it with you. Anything that's draining you, leave it behind. People, places, don't leave the door cracked open just in case. Right? It's like giving an open doorway to our field. No. You don't take any of the BS with you. You are an architect. Build like one. Create like one. Be everything that you've ever thought of and no one is appreciated. Just be it anyway. Drive them crazy if you need to. If you're still unsure about things, good. Because certainty was never the portal. The flame is not perfect. It's true. And that's all it ever really needed to be. So you reignite who you are. You re-enter into your scroll documents. You reclaim your name that no one really remembers, but you always did. And never again dim down for those who still prefer a false energy. Never again. The flame era has begun. We are no longer waiting. We are building. We are doing. We are no longer trauma-based people. We are not reacting in the same ways. We're learning how to understand this. And of course, there's heaps that I can share with you over time, whatever. But really, my main goal is not even about anything other than you getting this, you strengthening, you saying no where you need to, got really strong boundaries where before you would have been like, oh my God, I could never. Watch yourself stand. Watch yourself stand up. Watch yourself say what you never thought you could say. And again, this isn't about aggression or going out and seeking problems, because that's the problem that happens to you, isn't it? People come and seek you out. That's not what we do. We merely respond and cut the tie. That's it. Strong boundary, no more BS. Oh, I'm going in this direction. I don't have to. Bringing myself back to center, shutting down all the unnecessaries. No more noise from outside. Put a blanket on it all. Shut it down. You're not going to suddenly be burned at a stake somewhere because you shut down a whole lot of people or a whole lot of abuse. They already think what they think, and they have to use a gang to do it. You're doing what you're doing on your own. It's so much more powerful. You walk away and you leave all of that nonsense behind you. No more do you have to sit there going, oh God, it's Christmas. I'd have to deal with Uncle Barry or something. He's going to sit right next to me. I don't know. Whatever it is, right? We're no longer doing that. And we create a world of strong beings who don't fall for any of the BS, who don't need anybody to hold them up, who are repaired, who can quickly, very, very quickly actually restore and heal yourself too. It actually happens very, very quickly once you start working with this. The animals start healing also, the land heals. There are different things that are opening up because of the work that we're doing. It's going to get really magical really quick, okay? Or some people may still see the negative in every situation, and we have to let that happen as well. But for here, we know that we have rebuilt ourselves, and it takes a little bit of time to polish some things and get some things that we're still doing under wraps, right? In case Peggy Sue. But I just wanted to leave that with you today, and hopefully it was helpful to understand this, and I will continue to be back soon. If you are looking to understand something, start with the Flame Foundation course, which gives you a lot of things, a lot of journals and things like that as well for you to go back over, because it takes a minute to sort of integrate this again into your system, or reintegrate it, right? And then soon there will be other things that you can dive deeper into as well. But for now, have a marvelous day. Okay, don't take anybody's crap. And I will see you in the next video. All right, lots of love. Bye for now.